Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Deborah with Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is Purusha Intuitive. So welcome to our daily astrology reading. I hope you're doing well. Happy after the full moon, right? We had the full moon yesterday in Gemini. More tension, than maybe we want to be dealing with. But I feel like a lot of what is being dug up from underneath the surface, places that we're getting triggered or we feel some tension or resistance in our life, it's basically just an opportunity to really kind of overcome some of the obstacles that we put in place, Way easier said than done. I'm not trying to oversimplify it. But the cool thing is oftentimes things are very simple, right? Like it's just the emotion that we put into it, right? The procrastination or the fear or the anxiety or not wanting to do it or how is it going to look, et cetera, right? And there's always going to be those factors at play, right? There's that value of the light and the dark and everything, the duality that we talked about. If you followed along in the video, for yesterday's full moon. So, the moon is still in Gemini. It is still conjunct with Mars. So, which is in opposition to the sun, which is going to still give us some of that tension, some of that resistance. I know I can definitely feel it, right? Like I ended up doing way too much yesterday and then didn't get the stuff done that I actually needed to get done. That's that Mars in retrograde for me. And then I'm like, I didn't sleep last night and I'm all out of sorts today. So it's kind of that domino energy, right? Like, when we are choosing from a place of strength, from a place of integrity, really honoring ourselves, honoring the different things that we have going on in life, it gives us more fluidity and balance, right? And so I feel like, that's really kind of what these lessons are about. Saturn still has a lot of impactful energy in the chart. It's still in Aquarius. It takes a long time to move through each sign, so it's going to be there for a minute. And Saturn really deals with the way that we learn those lessons. The nice thing is it's positively aspected to the moon today. So that's actually giving us a little bit of pep in our step, right? So the places that we are overcoming those obstacles and challenges are like incredibly beneficial to us, like spirit, universe, God, however you understand it, is going to like give you a little gift, a little treat, straight off the menu, right? So keep that in mind. It's like I said, there still is tension, in today's chart. It's, it feels like it's almost the places that we're feeling kind of like that pressure, culminating. And most of it is dealing with that moon Mars conjunct with the sun. And then we see some of it with that Neptune and Jupiter, which are still in Pisces as well. Both those planets have gone direct. This is actually like adding value, to the ability for us to kind of listen to our intuition, tune in, really figure out like, again, what we need to be doing in order to accomplish the goals that we have set in place. Jupiter is all about our success, our fortune, calling in our abundance, and Neptune is the more spiritual, mystical side of things of life, right? So that is, again, practically speaking, it's us just listening to our gut instincts, right? And saying like, hey, this is actually going to benefit me in the long run. I'm going to feel way better. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to have more time, whatever it is, like by you putting in those deposits currently versus getting that like short-term satisfaction, right? That instant gratification type vibe. And it's going to feel, I think, a little bit, like a little sticky, because I think how you're envisioning it, how you want it to play out, the way that you're connecting with it, it's not manifesting 100% how you had envisioned, right? But that's going back to the listening to the gut instincts and continuing to push forward. So Mercury just entered Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth energy. It's a tough cookie, you know, it's that concept of strength and endurance and pushing forward, etc. And so, and it's ruled by Saturn. Again, that, you know, like the value of working, like for the reward ending up being the work in and of itself, right? That the work is the reward. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tongue twister on my end. So, you know, the way that you're putting yourself out there, the way that you know, are speaking, that you're communicating about the things that you're connecting with, about your goals and your vision, etc. You're gonna have to keep pushing through some of this stuff, you know, knowing that the change is happening. You know, Pluto's in Capricorn as well. They're on opposite ends of the decan, however. But you know, Pluto, it's again kind of just accepting the change, right? Especially the things that are a little bit harder pill to swallow, etc. You know, and that actually, the more that we kind of acknowledge what it is, release it and let it go, the easier it's going to become, you know, the easier that transition is going to get. And that taps right back into our gut instincts, you know, really listening to that intuition. The problem is we are going to want to me, there's an element of stubbornness playing out, of, you know, being very like, well, I know what I know how to do this, and I'm gonna make this happen. And, you know, almost like bullhead, you know, bullheading, I don't know if that's the word, but like, you know, and you're like forcing the issue is what I want to say. So it's make sure that you don't get too caught into that energy, you know, or like kind of like it feels a little rebellious, you know, not like you're saying F you, but you're just very like confident in your thought and opinion about this. And this is, you know, it's just saying like leave a little wiggle room, you know, make sure that you are taking the time and the energy to think through things, take a step back and really looking at your responses. Again, is it in alignment with whatever goal I have set into place? What else? So, you know, I think some of this stuff is, like I said, there's a little frustration, resistance as to how things are looking. You probably have felt like you thought you'd be a little bit further ahead at this point, you know, but just know that it is moving in the right direction. It's just, it's the frustration of learning the lessons and pushing through these things, you know, but you are, you know, like I said, it is showing that there is this, you know, potential of making it out on the other side. I mean, that's kind of like obvious, you know, but just the value of knowing that, you know, when these things come into head, when they present themselves in front of us, again, we have to continue to make that choice of, you know, I'm going to do what's highest and best for me, even if I normally wouldn't have done it this way in the past. Actually, that aligns, again, no surprise, with our reading about this element of being of creative ingenuity. You know, the cool thing about being a human is like there's like endless possibilities, and we're all so innately creative, right? I mean, think of all the things that have been invented, right? It's kind of mind-boggling. Sorry, I was getting down. My mind was going down another road. But basically what I'm saying is, we all have the ability, the time to tap into that energy if we want. And that actually gives us creative solutions. And it ends up creating almost like a spiral effect. So you're not, if you continue to do it this one way, in a linear way, you'd eventually end up to your destination, where putting this creative edge to it is actually going to get you there quicker, because you have that spiral effect instead of this it's actually tapping into that manifestation, that abundance, on a deeper level, right? And that truly is what being in alignment is all about. So it's happening, it's moving. It might be a little frustrating, a little emotional. You might be dealing with some resistance, especially with people that you know or are close to or are in your environment. But there's also this value of know who to listen to and who not to, because with that Black Moon Lilith and Vertex, they are they're separate. They're moving out of conjunct with one another, but they still are. It's just that value of, Black Moon Lilith throws us our curveballs. She's kind of what, brings things in, dangles like a carrot or something that might seem really good, something that might seem alluring and enticing that we are tempted to, take. But it's, again, just saying, make sure that it's actually what you want and it's actually going to serve you long term, because sometimes she can put that stuff in front of us that this reminds me specifically of naysayers in your life, people who just aren't on board, aren't very supportive, don't really understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. Again, be mindful about just kind of seeing how it sits with you, take a moment, we don't have to please everybody. There's always going to be people who don't specifically agree. Unfortunately, that's just part of life. So it's, being able to have that ability to kind of check it against ourselves and say, is this, again, in alignment? Is this what I want? Is this going to serve me long term? Or are they just not approving of whatever it is that I'm working on? So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you appreciated or enjoyed the video. I hope it helps. If so, definitely share, subscribe. If you're interested in personal services below, sorry, I don't know, my mind is escaping me. So if you're interested in those personal services, check out what's in the description box below. This is why I'm ending the video. All right, guys, lots of love and light. Thank you so much for your time. You have a great day.